Chosen one, anchor your spirit to what I am about to reveal. Because what I uncovered while preparing this message made me sit in absolute silence. I know the last 72 hours have felt incredibly heavy. The atmosphere in your home feels very strange. Conversations seem to stop the moment you walk into the room. You wake up at 3 in the morning with a crushing weight on your chest. And while you try to carry on with your day, you cannot explain this deep sorrow to anyone around you, because they simply would not understand. The enemy has been working overtime for one reason, and one reason only. He knows exactly what shifts the moment you receive these words today. You did not find this video by accident. The algorithm did not bring you here today. The Holy Spirit directed your path to this exact moment. This is a divine appointment scheduled before the foundations of the earth, and you must pay close attention right now, before the enemy tries to distract you again. In a few minutes I will reveal why your isolation was never a punishment. I will expose the specific biological lie that keeps you trapped in poverty. And at the very end of this message, I will give you the precise declaration that seals everything God is about to speak over your life. Please do not click away from this video. If you leave before the final verdict is delivered, you are walking away from the exact financial blessing that heaven has already deposited into your spirit. Let us talk about the reality of your daily life. You feel absolutely exhausted every single day of your life. Your shoulders are constantly tight, with heavy, invisible burdens. The weight of your financial reality is entirely real. And every morning when you wake up, that heaviness is already sitting on your chest before you even open your eyes. You force yourself to push through the emotional pain. You put on a brave smile for your family, but deep down inside your weary soul, you know that you are barely holding on to your sanity. You have worked harder than anyone you know. You sacrificed your sleep and your peace for the promise of a better tomorrow. You read all the books about manifestation and wealth. You tried to think and grow rich, just like the experts told you to do. But the massive wealth they promised never actually materialized in your reality. It feels like you missed a hidden chapter that everyone else was given at birth, and now you are left struggling while the rest of the world moves forward. You are incredibly tired of endlessly waiting for your turn. You watch people around you attract money and opportunities with zero apparent effort. They do not work half as hard as you do, yet they seem to have a strange magnetic pull that brings them constant luck, while you are left wondering what you did wrong. Meanwhile, you are stuck in an endless cycle of hustle and burnout. The advice to just work hard and get rich feels like a cruel joke. You know deep down that it is a massive lie. I see the silent tears you shed when the bills pile up. I know you feel the heavy burden of generational financial struggle pressing down on your neck. It feels like the financial deck was completely stacked against you from the very moment you were born into this world. You experience a constant and heavy mental fog. Anxiety around money completely clouds your intuitive ideas. You feel trapped in a relentless and exhausting survival mode. And no matter how hard you pray for a breakthrough, the universe seems to answer you with absolute silence. You give so much of your energy to others. You are the one everyone comes to with their problems. You pour your heart out to heal your friends and your family. But when you need support, the room goes completely quiet. You receive so little in return for your massive sacrifices, and the isolation you feel in those quiet moments is absolutely deafening to your spirit. Feeling like a stranger in your own life has become your daily normal. You wonder if anyone actually sees your pain. You believe deeply that you are meant for greatness. You know in your soul that a life of total abundance is your true destiny. But you feel like your internal wealth magnet has been forcefully switched off by the constant stress of modern survival. Every time you try to step forward, an invisible wall pushes you 10 steps back. It is incredibly maddening to live this way. You constantly question if you are doing something terribly wrong. You wonder if God has forgotten about your prayers. But before we dive deeper into the spiritual truth, I want to plant a very important and powerful seed in your mind. There is something currently hidden from the general public. It is something discovered not in a motivational book. It was found inside a highly classified laboratory. It is a secret, funded by elite billionaires and verified by top-tier neuroscience. And it finally explains the massive gap you feel every single day. It explains why your hustle never translates into actual wealth. This secret explains the frustrating distance between the beautiful wealth you constantly visualize and the cold reality you wake up to. I will reveal exactly what this is before we finish our time together today. But first, you must understand why the world was built to drain your specific energy. You have to recognize the invisible system designed to keep you totally exhausted. You must see the heavy chains before you can finally break them. The truth will absolutely shock your entire system. So, I need you to hold on to this one crucial question. What if your struggle to attract abundance is not a lack of hustle at all? What if it is a dormant frequency waiting to be switched on? Think about how much energy you have wasted blaming yourself for things outside your control. Think about the sleepless nights you spent agonizing over your bank account, while the real issue keeping you broke was completely hidden from your view. You have been fighting a biological war without any weapons. Let me reframe your entire reality right now. That isolation you have been calling a punishment was never a punishment, because it was actually your divine preparation. God did not remove the crowd to abandon you. He removed it so he could finally speak to you without any interference. You thought you were losing your mind, but you were actually finding your true calling in the silence. The painful season you just walked through was completely necessary. Your isolation is not evidence of your disqualification. It is evidence of your selection. The universe had to empty your hands so you could hold the massive abundance coming toward you, and the old version of you simply could not handle what is about to be released. So let us talk about the brutal truth the elite do not want you to know. The reason the universe responds to the 1% is not because they work harder than you, it is not because they visualize better, and it certainly is not because they have stronger discipline. The secret behind their massive wealth is entirely biological, and it has been kept from you on purpose. Deep inside your brain is a tiny walnut-sized region called the hippocampus. In the insanely wealthy people, this region is thick and highly developed. It is constantly broadcasting a microscopic frequency, and this specific frequency literally pulls money and opportunities toward them like a massive vacuum. They do not chase wealth, they simply attract it. But for the average person, the daily reality is much darker. Because you were not born into an 8-figure family, you inherited a biological disadvantage. Science calls this condition a shrunken hippocampus. Instead of broadcasting a wealth frequency, your brain is trapped broadcasting a survival wave, and you are constantly fighting an invisible battle. And the modern world is carefully designed to keep it exactly that way. Every time you stress over bills, this tiny region shrinks a little more. The constant financial anxiety destroys your natural power. Your God-given ability to attract abundance is pushed deeper and deeper into dormancy, and you are basically surviving on emotional fumes. This is exactly why you can read every self-help book for years with absolutely zero results. You are trying to manifest wealth while your internal receiver is completely powered down. You end up chasing money endlessly and exhausting your spirit, while the elite simply let the riches flow to them without any struggle. It feels incredibly unfair. It is a biological block passed down from generation to generation. It quietly sabotages your highest potential while you blame yourself for failing. Most people will go to their graves believing they just did not work hard enough, and they will accept the struggle as their permanent fate. But you are absolutely not most people. You are the cycle breaker for your entire bloodline. You were chosen to finally end this generational curse of poverty. And remember the question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago, the one about whether your struggle was just a dormant frequency waiting to be switched on? That question holds the key to your ultimate financial freedom. You are about to see that the answer is not only scientifically proven, it is closer than you could ever imagine. Top-tier researchers from the CIA have quietly studied this for years. They discovered a very precise acoustic frequency capable of breaking this dormancy, and they found a way to wake up that sleeping wealth receiver inside you. But they did not want this information to reach the middle class. The billionaires pay expensive lawyers to keep this biological cheat code completely hidden, because if chosen ones like you suddenly woke up, the entire system of cheap labor would collapse. They need you to stay tired. They need your hippocampus to remain shrunken and weak. You have spent your entire life operating on a suppressed frequency. You thought your sensitivity was a weakness. But what you carry is not a wound, because it is actually a powerful weapon waiting to be activated. The depth that made you feel like you were too much is the exact thing that gives you the power to shift atmospheres. You were never meant to be everyone else's savior. You were meant to carry one specific assignment that only you can fulfill. But you cannot complete that holy mission while you are constantly worrying about rent and groceries, so heaven wants to fund your calling right now. The universe wants to pour massive resources into your completely open hands. The gap between your current bank account and the life of the 1% is not a lack of hustle. It is not poor financial planning. It is a dormant brainwave that the elite are born with, while the rest of the world is left struggling in the dark. Your financial struggles and the mounting debt are absolutely not your fault. It is not a character flaw. It is simply a sleeping wealth frequency waiting for the right signal to finally switch it on. And the moment that signal hits your brain, everything in your reality will begin to change rapidly. The heavy doors that were slammed in your face will swing wide open, and your season of endless waiting is finally over. But here is where the narrative of your journey delves far deeper than most people perceive. And this brings us to something that almost everyone completely misses. You look at your empty bank account and you feel like a massive failure. You think the universe has abandoned you in the cold, but your story perfectly mirrors the greatest spiritual leaders in human history. Think about Moses in the barren wilderness. He went from living in a wealthy palace to wandering in complete and utter isolation. He lost his massive status in Egypt overnight. He spent years thinking that his divine purpose was completely ruined, and he probably thought God was punishing him for his past mistakes. But heaven was actually doing something else entirely. God had to clear the room so he could finally speak. He had to remove the noise of Egypt to prepare Moses for a massive assignment. The isolation was absolutely not a punishment. The barren wilderness was actually a powerful crucible, and a crucible is a container used to melt metals at incredibly high temperatures. It burns away every single impurity. You are standing inside that exact same crucible right now. The financial heat you feel is incredibly intense. The crushing pressure of your daily survival is the fire. But this heavy fire was never meant to destroy you, because it was designed to beautifully forge you into a weapon. You are being forged to carry a massive financial blessing without breaking. You did not just survive what should have completely broken you. The severe trauma and the heavy losses actually developed your spirit. God was breaking your deep attachment to the old system. He was removing your reliance on the normal ways of making money, and he needed you to rely entirely on the divine frequency of total abundance. You are a highly chosen vessel. Think about the people who walked away from your life recently. You probably cried countless tears over their sudden departure, but heaven specifically orchestrated their swift exit. They were quietly removed because they could not handle the new frequency you are stepping into, and they were grieving the old version of you that they are about to lose forever. You were never meant to fit into their tiny boxes. The deep sensitivity they told you to hide is actually a powerful radar. The emotional depth they called too much is your greatest spiritual gift. You were built for a totally different frequency, and right now you are standing between two completely different identities. The old you is rapidly dissolving. Your pain was never a random accident of the universe. Your pain was an intense period of divine preparation. Your heavy isolation was your ultimate consecration. Consecration means being set apart for a highly sacred purpose, and you were separated from the crowd because you carry a massive mantle. The universe is preparing you to handle unprecedented wealth. The enemy does not waste premium attacks on people without premium assignments. Think about how relentless your struggles have been lately. The sheer intensity of your spiritual warfare is absolute proof of your massive calling. If you were truly ordinary, the enemy would have left you alone years ago, but he sees the massive financial kingdom you are about to build. You have been severely tested and forged in the dark. Now you are finally ready to carry the massive abundance waiting for you. The painful preparation season is officially coming to a permanent end. The heavy chains of generational poverty are breaking off your bloodline right now, and you are stepping into the glorious light of your true spiritual inheritance. You are absolutely not the same person who walked into this fire. The old you would have completely crumbled under this heavy weight, but you are still standing here today. You have survived every single thing the enemy threw at you, and your incredible resilience proves that you are entirely ready to receive. But once you understand this powerful truth, you are ready for the next revelation. There is still another layer hiding beneath this reality. Coming up in just a moment, I am going to reveal the deeper root that keeps you blocked, and I will expose the hidden thing inside you that you have mistaken for wisdom. This truth will shatter your limitations. But first, this understanding must land deep in your spirit. It must settle inside your heart, like solid bedrock. Let this divine revelation wash over you completely, right now. You are highly chosen, and your life carries a beautiful meaning that is still unfolding before your very eyes. Take a deep breath and accept your divine selection. Heaven is completely realigning your destiny as you hear these words. The angels are actively removing the spiritual blocks from your path. The wealth that belongs to you is already moving in your direction. You do not need anyone else to validate your calling, because your breakthrough activates the exact moment you take your rightful place. Here is the deeper root I promise to expose. The thing quietly blocking you is not the enemy. It is a belief inside you that you have mistaken for wisdom. You were taught that relentless hard work is the ultimate key to success, and you believed that sacrificing your peace would eventually make you rich. But hustle culture is a massive and exhausting lie. It was carefully designed to keep you running on an endless wheel. Let us look at the top 1% of the world. They do not wake up at 4 in the morning to scrub floors. They do not destroy their bodies, working 3 jobs just to survive. While you are agonizing over every single penny, they are effortlessly attracting massive windfalls of cash because their internal receiver is fully activated. The gap between your reality and their luxury is absolutely not a lack of effort. It is entirely about the state of your biological receiver. They operate on a completely different frequency. You have read the famous books about thinking and growing rich. You tried to practice the law of attraction every single day, but the secret the elite billionaires pay expensive lawyers to hide is heavily biological. Manifestation requires a strong biological receiver to actually catch the wealthy signals, and you cannot attract abundance while your brain is broadcasting a survival wave. This is exactly why your vision boards feel like a total waste of time. You are basically screaming into a broken radio. Science calls this broken radio a shrunken hippocampus. When this tiny region is fully developed, it acts as an internal wealth vacuum. It pulls lucrative opportunities directly into your lap without any physical struggle. But the constant stress of your daily survival has completely shrunk this vital organ, and your natural wealth magnet powers down every time you panic about money. You inherited a suppressed survival wave from your ancestors. This is the heavy biological curse you carry. You were led to believe that your poverty was a terrible character flaw. Society constantly told you that you were simply too lazy or too distracted. But what if your intense financial struggles and mounting debt are not your fault at all? They are simply a dormant piece of anatomy waiting for the right activation. The billionaires know exactly how to keep this wealth frequency switched completely on, and they fund massive research to ensure you never discover this biological cheat code. They want you to stay completely exhausted. Imagine waking up tomorrow with a fully restored biological receiver. Imagine your brain broadcasting a pure signal of unshakable confidence and total abundance. The relentless mental fog would instantly evaporate from your tired mind, and you would suddenly experience intuitive decision-making that feels entirely effortless. A sudden streak of massive luck would replace your long years of painful struggles. This is what happens when the survival wave is turned off. Your deep intuition becomes a highly tuned radar for windfalls. You have always sensed that you were incredibly different from everyone else. You have always felt a strange calling pushing you toward massive spiritual greatness. That deep feeling in your gut was actually your dormant hippocampus crying out, and it was desperately trying to break through the thick noise of your daily grind. Your spirit knows that you were meant to hold a massive financial kingdom, but your broken biological receiver keeps pulling you back into the same traps. Positive thinking alone will never fix this issue. You need something entirely different to completely reset your brain. You need a precise key to unlock this ancient and powerful region. The elite have always possessed this key and used it to multiply their empires. They secretly use this specific ritual while you are out there working yourself to death, and they laugh while you exhaust your spirit, chasing pennies. The gap between you and them is just one missing piece of technology. Once you finally acquire this piece, everything changes. And this realization should bring you an incredible sense of deep inner peace. You do not have to hustle harder than you already are right now. You do not have to wake up earlier or sacrifice more of your precious health, because you simply need to repair the broken receiver that was damaged by generational trauma. The heavy burden of endless striving is finally lifting off your tired shoulders. You are completely ready to receive the abundance. Are you beginning to feel the massive shift happening inside your weary soul? The lies of the hustle culture are completely losing their grip on your mind. You are finally understanding why the law of attraction never worked for you. It was never about your lack of faith or your failure to visualize properly, and it was entirely about a suppressed biological frequency that kept you trapped. The truth is setting you free from years of heavy guilt. Your journey toward effortless wealth is finally making sense. This brings us to a massive turning point in our conversation today. I told you that the elite billionaires pay lawyers to hide this biological secret. I promised to reveal how they actually keep their internal wealth receiver switched on. And once that profound truth clicks into place, everything in your life will permanently shift, because you will finally possess the exact same power they do. The solution requires absolutely no hard physical labor. It is something incredibly simple that will completely shock you. Stay with me, because what I am about to share next is the missing piece. It is the cycle-breaking truth that destroys the survival wave for good. You have suffered enough, and you have waited long enough for your breakthrough. Heaven is about to hand you the exact mechanism to restore your dormant frequency, and you must protect your focus from any sudden distractions right now. Do not let the enemy pull you away, Your future billionaire self is waiting. The isolation was preparation, and the financial struggle was just a biological lock. You are the chosen one, who is destined to finally turn the right key. Prepare your spirit for the massive revelation coming in just a few short moments, because your entire perspective on money and wealth is about to change forever. Breathe in this deep truth right now. Prepare to receive your ultimate financial freedom. Before we go any further today, I have to share a massive breakthrough that changes absolutely everything. Something the elite billionaires have spent vast fortunes to keep totally hidden. They profit from your endless hustle and your constant financial anxiety. But their secret is finally slipping out. And this revelation will permanently shatter the heavy chains, keeping you completely exhausted and broke. A rogue neuroscientist recently leaked a truly shocking and powerful discovery. He formerly worked on highly classified CIA experiments regarding human potential. He and a team of top-tier researchers found a way to wake up that dormant wealth frequency. They discovered exactly how to rapidly reverse the terrible effects of a shrunken hippocampus. The science community was absolutely stunned by these amazing findings, and they did not achieve this through decades of exhausting meditation or relentless journaling. You do not have to wake up at 4 in the morning to force a fake hustle mindset, because they discovered something infinitely simpler and far more powerful than any motivational book. They found a biological shortcut that bypasses all the hard work and goes straight to the hidden source. They engineered a precise and perfectly calibrated 7-minute sound frequency. When listened to, this specific acoustic wave easily bypasses your conscious mind. It directly stimulates that tiny 250-million-year-old region of your brain. It literally massages the hippocampus back to its full and glorious size. You simply listen to a sound, and your brain does all the heavy lifting. 4 independent neuroscience labs have already verified this exact biological activation. Researchers on the elite campuses of Harvard and Yale are observing this incredible phenomenon right now. They found that once this specific frequency is heard, it forces the brain to completely stop broadcasting the survival wave. The heavy static of your anxiety is instantly replaced by a pure signal of total abundance. It immediately flips the switch on your natural biological ability to attract massive wealth. The universe begins to respond to your new signal almost instantly because your receiver is finally online. It is a completely effortless and simple, at-home ritual. Just 7 minutes a day is all it takes. And the profound, energetic shift begins the very first time you close your eyes and listen. I will tell you exactly what this acoustic technology is called very soon. I will show you exactly how you can access this frequency for yourself before this message completely ends. But you must understand that you did not stumble upon this highly guarded information by accident. Heaven specifically orchestrated this exact moment to hand you the ultimate key to your financial freedom. The universe waited until your spirit was fully prepared to handle this massive truth. If you had heard this a year ago, you probably would have ignored it completely. You would have thought it sounded too simple or too good to be true. But the fire of your recent struggles has burned away your deep skepticism. You are finally ready to accept a blessing that requires absolutely no physical struggle. Your deep intuition is screaming right now that this is the missing piece you prayed for. You feel a strange sense of massive relief washing over your tired shoulders. This is your spirit recognizing the ultimate truth before your logical mind even processes it. The tool is highly scientific, but the timing of its arrival in your life is entirely divine and totally supernatural. You are being upgraded to a completely different frequency of human existence. The old version of you had to fight and bleed for every single dollar you earned, but the activated version of you will simply sit in peace while massive opportunities flow directly into your lap. This is the true definition of walking in your divine anointing. You become a powerful magnet instead of a desperate hunter. Let this profound realization settle deep into your spirit right now. You are not broken, and you were never cursed by God. Your biological receiver was simply turned off by the heavy stress of a world that wanted to keep you blind. But the lights are finally turning back on inside your mind. The long season of wandering in the dark desert is officially over for you today. But before you can safely activate this dormant power, there is one final piece of the puzzle. You must understand something very critical about why the law of attraction failed you for so long. There is a quiet block hiding inside your heart that we must address together. Coming up next, I will expose the final barrier standing between you and your massive financial destiny. This is the part that no one ever wants to hear. But I say this with nothing but pure love for your spiritual journey. We must look honestly at a very subtle snare. The thing that has been quietly blocking your breakthrough is not what your mind immediately conjured. Stay with me right now, because what I share next will completely liberate your soul from a lifetime of hidden guilt. But here is the unexpected twist that you likely did not anticipate, because we have to look at the hidden block inside your own heart. The thing quietly blocking your massive breakthrough is absolutely not the enemy. It is something far more subtle and deeply ingrained in your spirit. You have to see it clearly today. I say this with nothing but pure love for your long journey. This is absolutely not an accusation. It is the spiritual diagnosis that will finally set you free. The truth is that some quiet part of you has been completely terrified of your own massive power. You have been running away from your true calling. You knew from a very young age that you carried something massive. You felt the heavy spiritual weight of your destiny pressing on your chest. But society constantly told you that you were simply too much, and people around you felt incredibly intimidated by your deep spiritual frequency. So you learned how to survive. You intentionally dimmed your bright light to make other people feel comfortable. You accepted far less than you actually deserve because you did not want to appear greedy. You somehow convinced yourself that wanting massive wealth was unspiritual. But living in poverty is not holy. Struggling to pay bills does not make you righteous. God did not give you this powerful intuition just so you could suffer in absolute silence. He gave it to you so you could build a massive kingdom and help others. But your subconscious mind is deeply afraid of what happens if you actually become a billionaire. You worry that the sudden money will completely isolate you. You worry that people will only want you for your massive wealth. You deeply fear the heavy responsibility that comes with ultimate financial freedom. So your broken biological receiver teamed up with your hidden inner fears, and together they created a massive invisible shield that literally repels the money away from your life. But you must release every single agreement you ever made with smallness. You have to stop apologizing for the massive space you were destined to occupy. Your incredible wealth will never corrupt your beautiful soul. It will simply amplify the incredible goodness that is already living inside your pure and generous heart. The people who truly belong in your next season will never be intimidated by your massive success. They will genuinely celebrate your financial victories. You do not have to hide your brilliant light to keep them around. The heavy isolation you just survived already cleared out everyone who was not meant to travel with you. The enemy desperately wants you to stay stuck in this false humility. He wants you to believe that wanting financial abundance is a totally selfish desire. But if you stay completely broke, you can never fund the massive visions God placed in your spirit. You cannot help the people you love if your own hands are empty. This hidden fear of success is the final heavy chain we are destroying today. The spiritual diagnosis is officially complete, and the deep healing has already started. You are finally seeing the invisible blocks that held you back for decades, and the beautiful truth is that they are completely dissolving into thin air right now. You are standing at the exact edge of your ultimate transformation. The exhausting survival wave is officially powering down for good, and your spirit is actively preparing to receive the specific sound wave that will restore your shrunken hippocampus. The dormant wealth receiver inside your brain is waking up to reality right now. And now comes the pivotal moment where absolutely everything shifts in your favor. This is the critical juncture you have been waiting for your entire life. The massive financial windfalls that heaven arranged for you are already circling your life. The incredible blessing is not missing at all. Your biological receiver was simply broken. The chosen one, who restores their frequency today, finally sees the massive wealth that was always waiting for them. But delaying this activation means letting your divine inheritance remain completely invisible. You can no longer afford to let your lucrative synchronicities quietly slip away into the dark night. You must act in total faith. Some messages do not just inform you about vague spiritual concepts. Some messages actively activate the dormant miracles living inside your DNA, and if something stirred deep in your spirit just now, you are totally ready. If you felt the truth of what I have said land in a deep place, then pay close attention. What I am about to share is absolutely not for everyone watching. It is only for the chosen ones who already feel the truth of what I have said. It is for the visionary who has done the hard inner work, and you are finally ready to claim your massive inheritance. Your season of endless waiting is permanently over today. Heaven opened this massive door for you right now. The universe is handing you the exact biological tool that the elite have used for generations. All you have to do is reach out and finally claim what belongs to you. Do not let the enemy convince you to turn back to your exhausting life of endless hustle. The question I asked you to hold at the beginning of this message is finally answered today. What if your financial struggle is not a lack of hustle, but a dormant frequency? A microscopic wealth attraction frequency is naturally active in the top 1%, and it is driven by a highly developed region of the brain called the hippocampus. Classified CIA. Research totally confirmed it. 4 independent neuroscience labs fully verified it. Researchers on the elite campuses of Harvard and Yale are observing it right now. Dr. Thomas Summers is a rogue New York neuroscientist who formerly worked on these top-secret experiments, and he refused to let elite billionaires keep this biological cheat code completely hidden from the middle class. He and his incredible team spent years compressing the clinical protocol for hippocampus growth into a simple audio track. But before I tell you what they built, let me tell you about 2 people who actually used it. Emma was a former nurse from California who felt her family was under a severe financial curse. She was totally exhausted. After just 3 days of listening, she broke the cycle completely. She quit her heavy job and sold her house for way over the asking price, and she now travels the world on passive income while sharing this massive abundance with her children. Michael was a former policeman in Florida who started using it to scale his struggling business. Within 5 days, his life changed. He quadrupled his high-paying clients. He found himself networking with wealthy elites who put him on television. He said the journey was almost effortlessly crazy. That is exactly because of what Dr. Summers and his dedicated researchers discovered. They call it the Billionaire brainwave. It is absolutely not a manifestation app. It is not a generic motivation tape. It is a highly engineered 7-minute binaural sound wave designed to directly stimulate your hippocampus and pull it out of dormancy. That is the entirety of the work required. You just listen for 7 minutes in the morning. You put your headphones on and close your eyes. You do not journal at all. You do not repeat forced affirmations. You simply let the precise frequency completely rewire your biological brain to receive. The Billionaire brainwave is absolutely not for everyone watching. It is only for the chosen one who has already done the inner work, and it is for the visionary who understands this block. Private neuroacoustic sessions to reverse a shrunken hippocampus cost hundreds of dollars per hour in a clinical setting. Elite billionaires invest massive fortunes to access this exact frequency. What Dr. Summers leaked to the public delivers the exact same neurological shift in just 7 minutes. And it is available to you today for a tiny fraction of its true value. The energetic exchange costs less than a few cups of coffee. 4 powerful bonuses are included to support your brand new reality. You receive a guide to managing massive wealth called the Warren Buffett Pyramid, and you also get a breakdown of 7 lazy millionaire habits. They included an emergency quick cash audio track for sudden windfalls, and you will receive an inspiring collection of 500 billionaire success stories to keep your mind anchored in abundance. Here is the deeper truth about waiting. The immense wealth and lucrative opportunities you have been praying for are already circling your life. The blessing is not missing. Your receiver is simply broken right now. Delaying means letting your divine inheritance remain completely invisible. Do not look for this on YouTube or Spotify. The tracks circulating under similar names on those platforms have absolutely zero binaural entrainment technology encoded. They are dangerous fakes meant to distract your spirit. The elite flood the internet with these cheap copies. The only authentic and neurologically active version is available through the link that has been placed in the description and the pinned comment below. This comes with the billionaire's ironclad promise. The universe requires absolutely no financial risk from you today. If you do not experience an undeniable increase in your wealth and luck, you get it back. Every single penny is returned. It is an energetic exchange governed by complete trust. The link is waiting for you in the description and in the first pinned comment below. The tool is not the final destination. It simply repairs your biological receiver so the wealth you visualize can finally materialize in your reality. Abundance is your birthright, and the universe requires no hard transaction for you to truly deserve it. What the brilliant researchers built is just one powerful accelerator. Whether you choose that path or not, let us go much deeper into preparing your mind for the massive opportunities ahead. And now comes the pivotal moment where everything officially shifts. This is the critical juncture. Tonight before you sleep, place your hand on your heart and declare this with me out loud. I completely release the heavy need to struggle. I release every single agreement I ever made with smallness and poverty. I step fully into my massive assignment, knowing my isolation was divine preparation. My financial breakthrough is not coming tomorrow. It is already here. I walk forward knowing I am highly chosen and fully prepared. I am exactly where I am supposed to be. The universe is violently shifting in my favor right now, and I am ready to hold the massive abundance. The season of intense preparation is completely over. You are absolutely not the same person who started watching this message. The heavy chains of poverty have officially dissolved into thin air, and you are no longer the survivor fighting for daily scraps. You are the chosen one who has finally awakened to their true divine power. Everything you endured was preparing you for this beautiful clarity. Your tired spirit is finally resting in a place of deep inner peace. The relentless anxiety about your financial future is completely gone, because you finally understand that your wealth does not depend on your physical exhaustion. It depends entirely on your activated biological frequency, and the universe is already responding to the shift inside your mind. The heavy lifting is totally finished. Tomorrow morning you will wake up feeling incredibly different. The heavy weight that used to sit on your chest will be permanently gone. You will open your eyes and feel a steady confidence radiating through your entire body. The exhausting mental fog will be replaced by a beautiful intuition. You will know exactly which lucrative opportunities belong to you, and you will easily walk past the old traps. You do not need anyone else to validate this massive transformation. You do not need permission from society to step into your new, abundant life. Release every lingering thought that tells you this is simply too good to be true. The old broke version of you is gone, and it is never coming back. You are stepping into a reality where abundance flows to you with absolute ease. This is your new normal. You will never again apologize for the massive space you occupy in this world. The deep sensitivity they told you to hide is now your greatest financial radar. You are going to build a beautiful kingdom with the massive resources coming your way. You will completely break the curse for your children and your bloodline. The painful sacrifices you made in the dark are finally producing massive fruit today. For the visionary ready to switch their internal wealth receiver completely on, the tool I described earlier remains accessible in the pinned comment. I will not mention it again. The path to your effortless abundance is waiting for you right there. That is the very last time I will speak about your biological receiver. The closing of this sacred message is meant strictly for your spiritual sealing. We are now sealing this beautiful financial breakthrough deep in your spirit. No weapon formed against your massive destiny will ever prosper. The enemy has completely lost his tight grip on your mind and your bank account. The divine biological activation you experience today is permanent and totally irreversible. You are stepping out of the dark wilderness and walking directly into the promised land. Before you leave this sacred space today, I want you to do something very important. I want you to gently press the like button on this video right now. By doing this, you signal to the algorithm that this divine truth needs to spread. You help push this specific frequency to another chosen one who is crying out for help tonight. Your simple action could be the exact miracle that saves someone from our total despair. If you know someone who has been called too sensitive their whole life, please share this message with them. Send this directly to the person who feels totally overwhelmed by their financial burdens. Let them know they are not crazy and they are definitely not alone. Be the willing vessel that delivers their sudden breakthrough today. Heaven will generously reward your selfless spirit with incredible abundance. Make sure you subscribe and turn on all notifications right now. You absolutely do not want to miss the next major revelation about who you really are. The truth about your divine identity is being systematically buried by the greedy world. But we will continue to fiercely expose every single lie they throw at you. This channel is your safe haven and your ultimate spiritual armory. We walk this path together. Take one final and very deep breath with me right now. Inhale the massive peace of God and exhale every remaining ounce of doubt. You are completely loved and you are incredibly special to the Creator. Your life carries a profound meaning that will beautifully echo through all of eternity. Walk forward, knowing that you are fully equipped for the massive assignment ahead. Your billionaire mindset is sealed. The long season of painful preparation is complete, and your new assignment starts now. Heaven is watching your next bold steps with immense joy and profound pride. You are exactly where you are supposed to be, at this very divine moment. Let the massive financial abundance flow freely into your completely open hands. Your breakthrough is not coming tomorrow because it is already here. I will see you in the next message.